Okay, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutation you Akim out there that push this word in truth and the sincerity. Do you Akim remember this asshole that's presented on my screen and all the war crimes that he committed, all the genocides that he have done throughout his years in political office? He's known as Dick Cheney, but his name is Richard B. Cheney, and he has a dark history. Not only as being the 46th president of the 46th vice president of the United States, but he committed a lot of war crimes, as been stated. So it was an overview. Richard Bruce Cheney was an American politician and businessman who served as the 46th vice president of the United States from 2001 to 2009, being the vice president under Mad Dog Bush, Mad Dog George Mad Dog Bush, another war criminal. These things are facts. It's not my opinion. He's a war criminal. It says, quick facts. Born January 30th, 1941, I think it's Lincoln, New England. Died November 3rd, 2025 at the age of 84 years in Northern Virginia, VA. Spouse, Lynn Cheney. She must have, she was still alive. In 1964, they married up to the time of his death. He got kids. I think Liz Cheney is an anchor for CNN, but he has a couple of kids and grandchildren. So now we're going to get into facts with this dude. Let's go to Wikipedia and see what we can dig up. Because this dude is a pure asshole and a war criminal. Richard Bruce Cheney. January 30th, 1941, November 3rd, 2025, was an American politician and businessman who served as the 46th vice president of the United States, which we read, under George W. Bush. His tenure is often called the most powerful vice presidency in American history, with many pundits and historians noting that he was the first vice president to be more powerful than the president that they served under. Because George Bush was he was like an idiot, basically, who ran the true president back then was Dick Cheney. He was calling the shots. He did what he did in the Gulf War, not in the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, bombing different countries like Nicaragua. He did a lot of things and committed a lot of genocide. He has a dark history. But just because he lived to be 84 years doesn't mean he's not going to pay. When he comes back, he's going to be a perpetual slave. He's going to be in hardcore slavery under the Israelites. Started with the elect. Started with Yahweh Shah, King David, and the elect. He's going to be a perpetual slave, working in the fields. He's not going to be a politician. It says, a member of the Republican Party, Cheney previously served as White House Chief of Staff for President Gerald Ford, the U.S. representative for Wyoming at a large congressional district from 1979 to 1989, and as the 17th United States Secretary of Defense in the administration of President George Herbert Walker Bush, Daddy Bush. So this dude got a history of being in the White House, a dark history. Like I said, he committed so much genocide, he's a war criminal. This is Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, just because he lived to be 84 years old, he lived a long, good life, rich, prosperous, a businessman. But he was a wicked ass dude, man. And he wasn't innocent. And when he come back, he going to serve out his punishment as being a perpetual slave. It says, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen, they that plow with iniquity, he damn sure plowed a whole lot of iniquity. He was wicked as hell. Even as I've seen, they that plow with iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. You go to the spirit world, you appear before Yahweh Shah, you receive your judgment. After a period of time, you come back on the earth to live out your judgment. It's just that simple. So this dude here you see right here, Dick Cheney, ain't going to escape the judgments of the Most High. Now, he know his judgment because he's been dead. He transitioned to the spiritual world November 3rd, 2025. A few days ago, about 4 or 5 days ago. So now you know your judgment. When you come back, you're going to be a perpetual slave. This dude knows his fate. But right now, he's at rest. Right now, he's chilling. He's in the spiritual realm. At ease, not being bothered. But he know when he come back, he's going to serve his punishment, which is going to be a perpetual slave. That's what he do know. It says, back in Job chapter 4, verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. By the blast of Yahweh, they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. He lived to be 84 years old, but guess what? He's not escaping anything. Nobody escapes being unjudged. Nobody escapes being unpunished. He's going to receive his judgment. He lived a good life in the time we living in now. He lived a good life. 84 years, rich, businessman, politician, multiple positions within the government, Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, Vice President. He did his thing. Committed all kind of genocide, all kind of murders. And he think he's not going to pay? Of course he's going to pay. Of course he's going to pay. He's going to pay dearly with his scrawny ass life being a slave in the kingdom to come. This is Job chapter 21, verse 7. Let me see where I should start. I'm going to start at 7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power. It says, wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power. He had a little status with him. More than a little status. He served as the Secretary of Defense under Gerald Ford. We can read it. White House Chief of Staff for President Gerald Ford. I said, Salakia, White House Chief of Staff for President Gerald Ford. Let's read it again. Richard Bruce Cheney was an American politician and businessman who served as the 46th Vice President of the United States from 2001 to 2009 under George W. Bush. His tenure is often called the most powerful vice presidency in American history, with many pundits and historians noting that he was the first vice president to be more powerful than the president that served under. A member of the Republican Party, Cheney previously served as White House Chief of Staff for President Gerald Ford, the U.S. representative for Wyoming, a large congressional district from 1979 to 1989, and as the 17th U.S. Congress, like a U.S. Secretary of Defense in the administration of President George Herbert Walker Bush, Daddy Bush. He was also considered by many to be the architect of the Iraq War. It wasn't George Bush's decision to go to war. It was this guy here, Beecher Cheney, Dick Cheney, Richard B. Cheney, the war criminal. And he's not going to escape his judgment. It says, back in Job chapter 21, verse 7, wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offsprings before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of Yahweh upon them. Started with the elites and the lesser elites, like this dude, Dick Cheney. He was a lesser elite, nonetheless, he was a part of the elite structure. The top elites are the international bankers, but they had puppets. He was a puppet for the international bankers. And a damn good one at that. So he built a legacy for himself in this society, in this world. On the left-hand side, in which the Most High Yahweh controls. He built a legacy in this wicked-ass society that Esau, the so-called white man, runs. He was a part of that wicked-ass structure. It says, their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of Yahweh upon them. Their bull gendereth and faileth not, their cow cleaveth and casteth not her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. They take the timbrel and the harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth, like this prick did. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave, like this dude did quietly. November 3rd, 2025. But the Lord whacked him out. The Lord put an end to this dude's life. Because the Lord Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai is in control of life and death. See, he got a lot to pay for, man. He got a lot to pay for, and he gonna pay. Rest assured, he gonna pay. You better believe it. This is Psalm chapter 68, verse 20. He that is our God is the God of salvation. And unto Yahweh, the Lord, belongs issues from death. So we know that the Lord put him to death, but he lived to be 84. He lived to be 84. But now, after his time in the spirit world, when he come back, he's going to be a perpetual slave. Somebody's going to have him as their slave. Somebody's going to have this dude as their slave. And we're going to share this dude. You're going to go from plantation to plantation, being a slave to all the top men of Israel. So you're not going to escape your judgment. 46th Vice President of the United States in office, January 20th, 2001 to January 20th, 2009. President George Bush, preceded by Al Gore, another demon, another devil. Succeeded by Joe Biden. In office, 1989, March 21st, 1989 to January 20th, 1993. President George Herbert Walker Bush, Deputy Donald J. Atwood Jr., preceded by Frank Carlucci, succeeded by Les Aspin. That's enough on this devil. We ain't got to go no further. We're going to break out a couple more scriptures. I'm going to close it out. Because this lesson was not intended to be long. This to show that this war criminal, Dick Cheney, kicked the bucket. And hey, I ain't sad. Why should I be? Why should I be sad? This is Psalms chapter. Go back to this dude, this devil right here. Psalms chapter 24, verse 1. Be not thou envious against evil men. This dude was an evil man. He built an empire, got himself rich off of the misfortunes of other people, off of the backs of other people, looting, robbing, pillaging, murdering, committing genocide. Imagine the riches he got in Iraq, which is actually Babylon, all the artifacts, all the rich paint that he stole and got rich off of, all the gold and silver. This dude built his empire off the backs of other people. It says, be not, this is back in Proverbs chapter 24, verse 1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. This dude was a total evil bastard, man. Totally evil. Shalaki for saying Psalms, I meant to say Proverbs. Proverbs 24, verse 1. Be not thou envious against evil men. This dude was an evil man. Neither desire to be with them, for their heart, which is their mind, studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. The Iraqi war, the bombing of Colombia. This dude got a dark history of pillaging, robbing, murdering, and committing genocide. And he's a war criminal. Well, he was a war criminal. He ain't a war criminal no more. He's going to be a slave. He's going to be a slave. It says, back in Proverbs chapter 24, verse 1, be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Though wisdom, it says, through wisdom is a house builded, and by understanding it is established. But he established his house through wickedness. Rape, robbery, and murdering. That's how his house was established. That's how he got his riches. Not by wisdom. Wisdom on the left-hand side. It says, and by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. Knowledge and wickedness. That was this dude M.O. He was a businessman, a very treacherous individual, shrewd individual. Richard Bruce Cheney, better known to the public as Dick Cheney. Now he's gone. He's in the spirit world, and he just waiting to live out his punishment when he come back. And that's all there is to it. All there is to it. Damn devil. Damn devil. And he was a fucking hypocrite too. And now you're in the spirit world. You receive your judgment, now you're waiting to play it out. I'm done. There's no more to be said about this dude. Giving no praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Wakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. And with that, Shalom.